All right, in this video, we're gonna kind of diagnose a little bit of what's going on with this engine. It's a newer snowblower from last year, stored all winter, but it's running a little rough when it's on full. So what I'm gonna do is start it and show you so you can hear what it's doing. So to start this guy, just as a reminder, as that gets pushed in, you want your speed all the way up. You have your choke on. Mine, I did idle it earlier, so I'm not gonna turn the choke on all the way. Just throw a little bit of primer. And then you can either pull start, or if you plug it in, you can use the electric. I'm gonna use the electric, and it will show you what it's doing. You can hear that kind of running rough at the end. All right, sorry about that. The air compressor kicked on. Yeah, so it's running a little rough there at the end. And so what that tells me is odds are there's just a little bit of gunk inside the carburetor. Now, the crappy part is the carburetor is hard to get to on this thing. So it's behind here. If we look underneath here, you can see this part here. This is the bottom of the carburetor. So what I'm gonna do first is take this off. Well, I'm not. I'm gonna take the cover off so that I can clamp the line so we don't get a bunch of gas pouring out. So we'll kind of go through that. It's fairly simple. You know, most of these pull up and this will just come off, but we'll go through it step by step. All right, so the first step to getting to the carburetor is we have to take this cover piece off. Like I said, it's kind of a pain to get to. It's not horrible, but it's kind of a pain. So first, this guy here pulls straight up. If you have trouble getting it, get something big underneath it. I like using these 7-in-1 tools. I was able to kind of get that underneath and pull up at an even pressure because you don't want to break anything. That part just pulls out. And this part, unless I'm mistaken, there's a little, there's a notch in there. It's right here. So that you line that up with the notch, and I believe it'll pull right out when we get there. We'll see when we get there. But I'm going to take off all the screws. So there's one there, there's one back here, and one here, and one down here. These are 10mm, so I'm going to take those off. Always recommend these metallic dishes that you can just put your bolts in so you don't lose any. So I'll get those bolts off and we'll move forward. All right, I got those 4 bolts off, so now we're gonna take this cover off. See if we can do that. All right, that slid right off. There's this, that is for the start. Try to avoid taking that off if I can. So let's see if we can maybe rotate this around. See what else we're caught on. The primer pump's gonna be on there. I wonder if we can pop that one off. But primer pump one is going to be the problem. There we go, just a little extra force. All right, so now we can kind of tuck this thing away off to the side, so hopefully it doesn't get in our way. I don't want it underneath because I'm going to be doing stuff under there. So let's, sorry for the clusterness here, let's move this around so that's over there. There, now it's out of the way. For the most part. All right, so we're gonna put it there. So this is the gas line coming in. So we're gonna clamp that off because we don't want to take this off and the gas just starts pouring out. So I'm gonna go get some vice grips for that and we'll take a look at it. All right, so like I said, we're gonna clamp this line. It's right here. So I'm gonna come in from this side. Doesn't have to be super duper tight. We're really just cutting off the flow, right? That seemed like it was just a little too loose, so let's take a look at it. Yeah, it's probably a little loose, so we're gonna tighten that up a little bit. Put these on. It's almost too tight, so I'm gonna put the camera down for a second. I'm just going to loosen the vice grip screw just enough where I can get a good clamp on it. So we'll know if we have a good clamp on it or not, because once we take the bowl off down here, if it's pouring out gas, I need to tighten it up. If it's not, we're good. So this is a 10mm bolt. This one here is just for draining. The one on the bottom is to take this whole bowl off. So I'm going to go get some rubber gloves. We're getting gas. I don't want gas all over me. It's also why I put cardboard down. So once I get that, we will take that bowl off and see if it's all gummed up in there. All right, so like I said, those are 10mm. So the first thing we're going to do is take off the extension. Now you're going to get a little bit of gas coming out. Wouldn't hurt to have a little bowl handy. I didn't even think about it, to be completely honest. By the time I get one, I'm sure it'll be too late. And I've got this bucket here, so I'll just take the screw the rest of the way off. Let it drain out. The bowl's out. That'll just slide right off. So a little bit dripping out. Makes me wonder if vice grips aren't tight enough. But it is draining, you know, basically that entire system, so could be a couple different reasons. But you can see inside the bowl here, where we're at, it's actually pretty clean in there. I'm just going to wipe it out. Clean it off. There's a little bit in there, but nothing nuts, nothing crazy. Yeah, so it's just letting in some gas. So if I hold that up, I don't know if I can have something right here I can pop it up. Maybe. That's why you want gloves. I don't want that all over me. All right, so that's propped up. You always take a rag. So my assumption then is the area let's get underneath here. So when that goes, this lets the gas in, and then it gets put up here. So there's always a chance that up here is gummed up. So all I'm really gonna do is get some carburetor cleaner and just spray the crap out of it and see if that works. If it doesn't, we do have some next steps that we can do. Further dismantling the carburetor. Kind of want to avoid that if I can, because that'll involve taking this guy off and getting in here to clean out some other stuff. So hopefully just some carburetor cleaner will take care of that. So I'm gonna go get that. We'll continue on. All right, so carburetor cleaner is kind of some nasty stuff. So make sure you wear gloves. Make sure you're not wearing anything that can be ruined with anything. If you're working on this, I'm sure you're not, but just be safe with it. I'm just gonna kind of give some squirts up here. Make sure you don't squirt it in your face or anything. I'm gonna give it all good solid sprays there. Yeah, it'd be nice if I had that little red thing that goes with it. Definitely want to make sure I get up in there. And we're gonna let that sit just for a few minutes. Clear out any gunk. Hopefully that'll loosen anything that might be up there. All right, so it's been sitting for just a little bit. So now we're gonna put this thing back together. Got my thing there. We have a bolt on the underside. So we got this guy. You remember it was facing this way. that. Let me take a bolt, make sure it's seated. And we're gonna go fast because I'm leaking gas out. I'm guessing I don't have that clamped good enough. She's causing gas to come out. So once we get this tightened back up, though, we'll be. Yeah, so I didn't have it seated all the way either. So now it is. Take that off. All right, so we are all put back together. I'm gonna get that primer line then, get back up on that primer bulb, and we'll give it a go. See how it sounds. All right, so I pushed that primer line back on there. I'm just gonna kind of get this somewhat seated in here so that I can move the stuff around. Probably I'm trying to line up this guy over here. There we go. So that's all in. Put our key in all the way. Sure. There he is. So before I put the bolts on, I'm just putting that in so we can get it. Get some priming. It's probably going to backfire on me because of that carburetor cleaner. So be prepared for that. You know, I'm actually going to put it kind of in medium there. See what happens here. Once I put that gas all the way up, it was running pretty smooth. So I think we're good to go. Just had a little bit of gunk in there and up in that center rod that I was trying to spray up into. If it happens again, I'll post another video of a more extensive carburetor cleaning. I'm hoping that'll work because I really don't want to dissect this whole thing. Usually over winter that gas can gel a little bit and those holes are small. So fingers crossed that was it. And that's all it took, and we'll let you know and post another video if I got to do a deep clean on this thing. So please hit subscribe. Thanks for watching the video. Hit like, share, do all that stuff, and we will see you later.